change. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Heard you get into it. Well, let's talk about it. All day in the bank. Let's talk about it. Spend a few checks talking cheap change. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Guys. Hey, everybody. And thanks for joining us tonight. Welcome to the Ladies Room Live. My name is Terry Deneen. I'm an author, content creator, and playwright. And I just want to tell you who we are. I thought it was important to create a platform for everyday women to have their voices heard. So none of us are celebrities, or we're not experts or professionals in our fields, but we have a lot to talk about. And so we started out as a group of women who were strangers, but now through tough conversations and getting to know each other better, we figured out that our purpose is a lot bigger than this. So now we're going to get started with talking about some really important topics, really hot topics. And guys, just stay tuned and hang out with us for this ride, because it gets a little crazy sometimes. But the first thing I think we should talk about, because it's something that's very timely and something that's really going on right now, that's very big on all of our minds and our hearts. And we just like, if you're anything like me, any kind of a news junkie, is like, it's enough already. But this election, Shayna, let's talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump. What's up with this election? What's up with them not conceding? What's going on?
Yeah, so a number of weeks ago, it's in my book, he lost the election. And as a result of his loss, he has decided that it makes sense to basically sue as many states as possible where he lost by a big margin. So now he's refusing to depart from, from his trajectory, which is basically, I haven't lost, I refuse to concede. And he just does not want to concede the election at all. The clear and obvious winner, Joe Biden, thank you very much, sir, has just not been able to start the transition period that needs to take place. So America, as usual, as a result of Mr. Trump, is stuck in limbo.
Yes. Is anybody as stressed out or as full about this as I am? Like, what the hell? And is anybody afraid? Is anybody afraid for what's going to happen next?
No, I'm not afraid. I'm just annoyed, basically. Just annoyed. I mean, he's acting like a little 3-year-old, like, that's not getting his way. And he needs to let it go and concede. Because the transition for Joe Biden, he's making it difficult for him to transition into this, to be president. So yeah, he needs to just get on with his, so get over it and let it go.
Let it go. That's the thing. Let it go. I mean, because in the meantime, I think that it's putting us in danger. I think that we're in peril right now.
We've been in danger.
Yeah, we've been in danger.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not overly concerned with this, because Joe Biden and his team have been, trudging along, still making things happen. He's assigning his cabinet members and, meeting with the appropriate people for what we're going through right now, creating the coronavirus task force and, doing all of those things that a president would do if a president-elect would be doing if things were normal. He is kind of moving along. There are some things that may cause a minor setback, but I think that his team, the people that I've been, kind of looking up and, just kind of getting to know the people that he's appointing, and they all seem very equipped, way more equipped than the Trump administration. I mean, because if you think about it, Trump had the best transition next to Bush. He had the best transition in the history of the presidential election.
Exactly.
And look at what he still did. He still managed to get up. So I think on the other side to that, Joe Biden seems so much more well equipped. I don't think it's going to be that much of a factor. It's just annoying, like Jackie said, but I don't think it's going to be a major factor. And Shayna got kicked out, Terry.
Oh. See?
We lost Shayna.
I find it really just disappointing. I'm more disappointed in the Republicans that are allowing this behavior. I mean, I don't understand why they don't just tell him. And I don't know if it would matter much, but they need to just tell him, listen, you need to concede. This is what you do. None of the Republicans are coming out and saying anything. They're just saying, well, he deserves, the right to, to fight this as much as he wants. And I don't know, I just feel like the Republicans should stand up and stand for something and not defend him. Go ahead. Marvin's raising his hand.
Oh,
Yeah, no, they're afraid. They're afraid to stand up to him because he has such a stronghold, and they saw that 70 million people voted for him.
Can I say something? Because I want to agree with you.
They don't want to affect. They don't want to piss off that that base.
Yeah.
Because when they come up for
she took my point.
For re-election or anything that they're trying to fight for, well, I don't know if they don't fight, but you know what I mean. They're going to need the support of that base that he has been able to what's the word, hypnotize, because they got to be hypnotizing. So I think that's why the Republicans are afraid to stand up. It's not so much afraid of him and his rhetoric and his bullying and all of that stuff, but it's because of the base that he's been able to galvanize. And
I agree with you, Pamela. Can you hear me?
I'm having a really hard time hearing everybody for some reason.
But Pamela, I agree with you. I understand that because I raised my hand. I was going to make that same point. It's not about the Republicans not coming out and just saying, Trump, sit down, concede. They want to deal with his base. They want to support his base. His base has allowed them to maintain the Senate. They gained seats because of his base. They came out. So they don't want to disrupt that, because if they lose the Senate, then they lose everything. And they don't want to do that. And that's the reason why they won't come out and just formally say, yo, Trump, you need to secede. And just let everybody just, get out of the White House and let Biden in. Yeah. They don't want to do that, because if they do that, they lose that base. All those poor white people that came out and voted for him.
Yeah.
They lose that.
Yeah.
And then they won't control the Senate.
Yeah. And I think that, because we know that Trump loves the adoration that he gets being president. He knows, he likes the attention. So I think that either he's setting himself up for another run in 2024, which I really don't believe that so much as him wanting to set one of his children up to maybe do something. What I do know is he doesn't want to lose that base. And I think, honestly, if he was smart, he should, this Green Party doesn't ever seem to go anywhere. That's just like the throwaway bin. People who want to throw away votes, they vote for the Green Party. I don't know anybody who was on the Green Party. Sorry for my ignorance. But I think that if Trump was really smart, they would start their own freaking party. You got 71 million Americans that want to be a part of it. So I don't know. Who knows what he's up to?
No,
yeah, he doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to do that because he just, hoodwinked and bamboozled the entire Republican Party. So they should go and start their own. He took theirs, and that, and that's the strength. And even if he did become the Green Party or some other party that he makes up, it may not have that same cachet as being a Republican, because we at some point
Orange Party.
No, but when I say that, right? When you say that,
I don't know why I can't hear anything.
When you say that, you really need to think that we as a people need to actually start our own party, because we're not Democrats or Republicans. If you think you're a Democrat, you're just wrong. If you think you're a Republican, you're still wrong. We need to start our own party. And whatever party that can give us the most for our agenda as a people, and that's the party we vote with. Because they don't need us. We are obsolete, trust me.
You believe that we're obsolete? You mean the black vote is obsolete?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Because we're obsolete. They know that 90% of black people are going to vote Democratic anyway. Just because. They're going to vote Democratic just because they don't even know anything better. They're just going to vote Democratic. No, say what?
Shit. I said, well, that's insulting.
Well, it's true.
That we don't know anything. And
that's how they feel. So the black vote is already going to be Democratic. Regardless, 90% of us going to vote Democratic.
Where'd you get 90% from? Because I know plenty of black voters who voted for Trump. So where'd you get the 90%
And
from?
how many you know that voted for Trump?
Oh, I know plenty
Plenty,
who
right?
voted for
So
Trump. Yes.
out of 100,
Out of one, I mean, I'm not
no,
like,
no,
I don't know like a ton of
let's,
people, but I'm just
let's
saying
just throw out
like,
a number. Let me just figure it out. Out of 100 people that you know that's black.
okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't
That's why.
personally know it.
That's why I'm
Are you
giving.
gonna let me talk or no?
Yes, ma'am.
You good?
Yes, ma'am.
And Leora.
So what I'm saying is that I don't know like 100 people personally like that, like on that level. What I'm saying is that the people that I do know, like I know a few black people who voted for Trump, who voted Republican. So my point is, I want to know where you get the 90% from because
All right. So you're right. I'm not gonna throw out no numbers or specifics. I'm just gonna be general in what I say, right? Because I can throw out numbers, and then I need to go and do my research.
Can I interject? So we don't just throw out numbers and waste time because we have to move on.
Mm.
So you guys know, 15% of African American men voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
8% of African American women voted for Trump. Those are the numbers.
That's 15, 22. So that's 88% that voted for Biden.
Well, not necessarily because some didn't vote and some voted for
exactly.
Some didn't vote at all.
Exactly.
Right.
You're right.
But I agree with what Marvin is saying. I know I kind of know where you're going, Marvin. I mean, the majority, we don't necessarily have to put numbers out there, but the majority of Black people do vote Democratic. And I think you're right. You know, they have started to take our vote for granted.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, anybody that feels their vote doesn't count is wrong. You know, with the whole Georgia runoff that's going on right now, they've spent $100 million. They've put $100 million worth of money into the ads from, you know, the election to now to the runoff. And I think the runoff is what, January something, January 5th. They've spent $100 million worth of money in ads. So that's saying something right there, that your vote does count. If they're spending over $100 million, they want your vote. And so it does count. And we've got to get out there and vote. There's 2 seats that are up. The 2 Senate seats are up and up for grabs. And they will determine which way the Senate falls, whether it's Democrat or Republican. So those people in Georgia need to get out and vote. And they were saying something about there's a certain amount of people, I forget what the number is, that have turned 18 from the election to the date of the runoff. And so those people need to get out and register quickly so that they can then go ahead and vote, because they could even, you know, make the difference in that election.
In Georgia, right?
Yeah.
In Georgia, right?
Yeah.
They have a grassroots movement out there as far as getting people out to vote. That's like phenomenal. This lady, I forgot her name. I can't call her name, but she's doing what she got to do, and they really moving out there. So I really appreciate that. But
well, I mean, this particular election, that particular election is even more critical, and I think more eyes are on that than even the presidential, if you could believe that, because we, you know, right now the Republicans have 50 Senate seats and we have 48. If we can get those other 2, then Harris is, you know, the deciding factor in any votes that come to Congress. So this is, and you know, Mitch McConnell, he'll do anything to make sure that the Democrats are not successful. He did it for 8 years with Obama.
Exactly.
He tried it, and you know, people talked about Obama being ineffective, but I think that what he had in front of him, he certainly still accomplished a heck of a lot more.
Excuse me. And I don't want to be the bad seed right here. And I'm glad that we had a Black president, but Obama didn't do anything for Black people. Everything.
He wasn't the president.
No.
He wasn't. Yeah, I think
president of the United States.
No.
That's so like
Listen. Just please hear me out. Just hear me out. He did something for every other race of people. He did something for Hispanics. He did something for.
What do you do for Hispanics? Can you be specific about that? Because I really want to know.
You really want to know?
Yeah. What
right.
did he do for Hispanics specifically?
All you got to do is do your research. And if I'm wrong, you come back next week and tell me, Marvin, you wrong.
No. We need you to educate us.
I mean, that's what we're here for. We can't just throw stuff out there and not support it.
No. Right now, I'm just going to throw stuff out there because I really want to hear what y'all have to say.
Well, no, I'm not even that way.
No, we need your perspective here today. There's somebody out there that might want to hear what you got to say. We want to hear what you have to say. You're not going to get off that easy. You got to explain yourself. You got
all right. They passed legislation for LGBT, right? They passed legislation for Jews. They passed legislation for Mexicans, Hispanics.
What did they do for Mexicans and Hispanics? Because what I know is that he still was he was tough on immigration, not as ignorant as Trump, but he was still, keep making sure that they couldn't just slide overhead or jump over fences and everything like that. So I'm just confused as to what else he did for Mexicans, because I know that he was also tough on immigration.
No, I'm not saying
I don't recall him giving them any. What I do know about Obama, and you can actually Google this and do your research, is that he definitely proved that he was able to do what was important to most people. And that's what a president does, whether he's black, white, Hispanic, or Asian. He did what he's supposed to do as a president. He was the president of the people.
Exactly.
Republican and every other race. So when black people want to sit around and say he didn't do anything for us, what did your ombudsman do in your area? What did your congressman do in your state? What did your what do they call it that's in your neighborhood? What did they do? Because those are the ones who you should be standing on. You should be on their necks, because they're the ones who are directly responsible for your plight, not the president.
I'm not on his neck. What I'm saying is, black people, we failed to get out. We failed to even think about those issues that you're talking about, because we were satisfied that we had a black man as president. So all he had to do was be black. All he had to do was be black, and we was happy.
But why are you? How is that big? What you said sounds like you're holding that against him. He didn't do anything for black people.
No, but he didn't.
It's not his job to do anything for the black people. That's not his job.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
That's why people have the little community congressmen and people like that to do what for the black people or for their community.
You're absolutely right.
I think people should stop saying that kind of stuff. Irritates me, because and then it's like that becomes the truth if you say it enough times. Like that's not the truth. Just research before you say stuff like that, because that's not cool. I don't like that.
Yeah, and actually, I could share with you a whole comprehensive listing of every single accomplishment that Obama did accomplish. Because people like to say that. Those people, I don't know who these people are. I like
to hear 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to share. I'm going to share. I want you to understand, just for historic purposes, if nothing else, what his accomplishments were, because he was an amazing president, and nobody should be able to take that away from him. He was not the black president per se. Black people, he was a president for everybody. And as you know, the day he stepped into office, Mitch McConnell said to him, "I'm going to do everything in my power to see to that you fail." So there was so many things he would have done had he been able to.
That's a key point, because they was going to make sure he couldn't do what he wanted to do.
Well, then say that. Then lead with that.
Right. And then also
they have what you call an executive order. They have executive orders where you can say what you want to do and make it mandatory. Period. And you don't need no Senate. You don't need nothing. If you feel a certain way, you say it and it's done. Trump did it. They all do it.
I think
believe it or not, there are some limitations to executive orders too, with what you're talking about, with some of the things that you may think black people need. But one thing that people don't talk about also is that he inherited the most shitty economy
short of the Depression, the Great Depression.
You're right.
And he was able to, and when Trump came into office, we were doing pretty damn good. I remember 2008 and how horrible it was for most people. And God forbid you were a homeowner or you thought you had a job that was secure, because everybody struggled in 2008 on through. And when and he and Biden, who kind of led the charge or helping to fix the economy, he inherited the best economy that you could have imagined for that time period, given what we had gone through prior to that.
Right.
So, we can talk about that. Affordable health care was a dream. More people were able to get health care. May have been a little bit more expensive, but that's because there were certain things, because it was starting from nothing and had to build its way up. And now hopefully Joe Biden, with what he was able to help do with the Affordable Health Care Act, he'll be able to fix that or work, kind of tweak it to make it actually affordable for those who can't afford it, especially given, where we are now with this coronavirus and it affecting, with so many people being on unemployment, so many people losing their jobs, losing their businesses, and all of that. So I have high hopes for the future. We could talk about Obama all day. I think, that's one of the best first families we've ever had. And we're just going to give him that. And we probably should move on because we have
Joe.
I'm sorry?
You believe in Joe Biden?
I do believe in Joe Biden because he's smart enough to
raise their hand. If you believe in Joe Biden, raise your hand.
I think we all
believe in Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, voted for him. Yeah,
I believe in Joe Biden.
I'm sorry. Can I say I'm a little confused because Marvin, you're all over the place and you haven't really given us anything solid. Because
I haven't said anything.
Please allow me to speak. Mm-hmm. Because Pam laid out the facts for you, and all you gave was personal theory.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need you to come harder than that if you're going to talk about, because it wasn't just about Barack Obama being a black man. And he wasn't the president of black people. He was the president of the United States.
Okay. And
believe in the economy, like Pam said, that he inherited.
Listen, I'm sorry, Lenora.
Okay. Let me speak, I guess.
Listen,
go ahead.
I made a statement, right? And I wanted to hear what she had to say. I put it out there. She gave her input, and I agree with her. It's not that Marvin needed to prove what he said. Marvin created a conversation. She explained her side.
Well, if you're going to put information, no. If you're going to put information out there like that, you do need to bring the backup, the fact.
Oh,
because
the reason why I'm saying that. The reason why I'm saying that because she gave the basic premise for what she talking about. Obama did this with the economy. Obama did this. Or Obama did that. Right? Cool. And you still fail to address what I said, but it's okay.
Well, he wasn't you said he wasn't a president for black people.
No. I said no because we want to be Americans. What we want to do, we want to be socially acceptable. We want to be Americans. We want to think that everything is gravy. It's not. They do not want me, you, or none of us.
Let's take a pause right now because we did not do this, ladies. I think we're getting a little heated.
Before we take this pause, I would like to, if everybody agrees, let's put a pin on this and let's go back to it next week because I know we have people waiting in the studio.
And we didn't toast to this show tonight, and I think we all could use a little.
I've been drinking to it all night.
I'm about to let me go get one, and I don't even know.
Hold it up.
Hold
up.
All right.
There you have it. So yeah, Marvin,
what he got?
We have some people writing in, and I don't think they're liking what you're talking about, Marvin. You got some explaining to do.
Read what they're saying. Sorry, what are they talking about?
Listen. Somebody's calling you Malcolm X. They don't agree with you.
Somebody
else is asking, what's your point, Marvin? And somebody else said they want you off the planet.
And somebody said he's full of shit.
I would gladly leave if I could.
You could.
I would violate. Look.
We're not
Can I say
over.
something
What I told you.
quickly? Can I say something really
quick.
quickly? Listen. Can I say something? Listen, I just Googled during this conversation, WashingtonMonthly.com. And if you go to that that website, it lists Obama's top 50 accomplishments. Go through that and you can see all of the things that he did accomplish when he was in office, and decide for yourself. There might not have been anything like direct saying he did this for Black people, he did this for Black people, but a lot of these things that he did accomplish, a lot of his accomplishments have affected Black people.
Exactly.
So, you know, just kind of do your homework. If we're going to talk about this further, we can do that. But it's there. He did a lot, and he is, like you all said, the president of all people, of all Americans. And so he wasn't put into office just to do something for Black people, which is, kind of ridiculous. No more than a white president has been put into office to do anything just for white people. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Who told you that?
Look, who told me what?
Who told you that a white president wasn't put in office to do something specifically for white people? And I don't even want to make this about race, but if you really think that, that's crazy.
But I think at this juncture we need to move on with our
agenda. Ideally, yeah. I mean,
I mean, listen, Marvin, you're so sweet, and
thank you.
I love that you really try really hard to just change the narrative a little bit, but we're not listening to you. Okay.
For clarification, did you say you're sexy to Marvin?
No,
I did not.
I wouldn't accept that.
He said no.
Terry, where did you hear that?
Emphatically, no.
Nobody heard that.
I thought I misheard.
No, something wrong with your ears.
You're so
Look.
Well, speaking of Marvin,
Excuse me. I know she did not say that. I know she did not say that.
Okay.
I did not. But believe me,
I've given you the floor enough for this particular segment.
Yeah, let me just jump in for a second while we're on the subject of Marvin, because as you said, he is, that other voice that we wanted to have on the show, and it's quite interesting. But he did bring something up last week with regard to relationships, and I guess more so about family. And I think it was more geared towards the demise of the Black families in America. And so we thought that it was important enough to talk about, give it a larger platform to talk about. And I think because, I think most of us, we've already stated our marital status or where we are, at some point during the different shows. But I thought, and Terry and I thought it was helpful to bring in a couple who have not yet gotten married. They haven't tied the knot yet. And just to get their perspective too on family and relationships as such. And so I think with that, and then we also have a gentleman that's Steve and Michelle, the couple that's going to join us. And then we also have Joseph, who is a social worker, I believe, or sociologist, but he'll be able to tell you exactly what he is when he comes on. But I think it's great to have a little bit of we don't know, but maybe some support from Marvin's perspective. I don't know, but let's see what it turns into.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I think the main thing, I think everybody's waiting for this election that's coming up and I wanted to post some websites up there because this is a very important election that's coming up. My concern about this runoff election is that all the people that came out in droves, for the main election, the general election, I'm hoping there's that same energy that exists here, because if we get those 2 Senate seats, imagine the power that we will have. Right. And even if it's 1-1, we got Kamala who's going to break the tie. So, we need that. Otherwise, they're going to see to it. And we already have a sneak peek of what it might look like, a Biden presidency might look like without the help from Mitch McConnell and his constituents. We already know what they're setting up to do. And I'm certain that they don't want to see this man succeed. And, if there's still going to be Donald Trump still may be pulling the strings from afar, So who knows how this is going to end up. So we need those Senate seats. That'll give us half a fighting chance. So we're still waiting for our second segment to start. We're still waiting for the guests to come into the studio. So anybody
Just
want
really quickly, Terry, can I say something? Just really quickly.
Absolutely.
The number is 20,000. There are 20. I looked it up. There's 20,000 people that are going to turn 18 before the deadline registration in Georgia. 20,000. So if we can get all those people to register and vote, all those young people to register and vote.
Well, some of them may be Republican, though, Linda. Some of them might be.
Hey, whichever, it doesn't matter. Whatever side, whichever way they decide to vote. I hope it's Democrat, but if it's not, but still, I mean, I encourage everyone to vote, whichever way.
It really doesn't matter about those.
Oh my God,
young people.
again.
Those young people, it really doesn't matter if they Democratic or they Republican. The younger people look at social media. They see what's going on. They see that it's horrible. So they're gonna vote in a way that's gonna be beneficial for everybody. The younger people right now have no fear. They have no fear. They don't have no fear. And whether they white or black, they're gonna do what's right. The majority of them is gonna do what's right. I promise you that. Because it's a different time. It's a different time. We sit back and we think about other things while we won't get out there and do this. We ain't gonna let no dogs bite on us and shoot no water hose on us. Those young people right now, they have no fear. It's different. It's like totally different.
Because we're in the day and age where everyone's
exactly, and they're gonna do what's right. Trust me. Whether they Republican, Democratic, Independent, whatever, they're gonna do where their heart leads them. And if you just watch social media and you see how people are being treated, you see non-violent protesters getting shot with rubber bullets just for standing there, so you can go and hold up a Bible in front of
upside down.
Like, come on,
Right.
like they see this.
Correct, Marvin.
So if we don't care,
The deadline.
The deadline.
I agree. The deadline to register and vote in Georgia is December 7th. So if we can get those 20,000 kids that have just turned 18 to register to vote, please do what you have to do and go vote. Register by December 7th and vote in your runoff.
Because
when does early voting start in Georgia?
December. Let me see. I've got a thing here.
When does early voting start in Georgia?
In-person voting begins December 14th.
Election 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Is that Alexa?
Yeah.
But I think that's important for people to know that that early voting starts December 14th, and that some people don't realize that the actual election is on January 5th. I hope Stacey Abrams is doing her thing and her people getting out there to make sure that everybody know those dates. But I just thought I definitely think, thank you, Lene, that it's helpful for us to be able to get that word out for any of us who might have even if it's just one person in Georgia that needs to know this information, and the polls close at 7 p.m., not 8 p.m. or not 9 p.m., but 7, because we need those votes. We need those folks to get out there and do what they need to do to get those 2 Senate seats, because we need that.
Pam.
Yes.
Terry, all you ladies, right?
Here we go again.
Yeah, here we go. I just want to talk about the destruction of the Black family. And let's see what we do there.
Let's do this. Let me do this. I'm sorry, Marvin. Let me do this. So what I want to do is now, we definitely called you back on purpose, and we're happy that you're here. Glad to have you. But we definitely want to continue. We're going to call this part 2 of our conversation last week, because you did talk about the cause. We were starting to talk about the cause of the demise of the Black family in America. And we definitely want to unpack that. I know there's a lot to unpack. So what I want to do right now is bring in Joseph Williams, who actually works for the prison system. And he's going to offer a perspective on what might be going, how are these men really thinking? And is that really the cause of the demise of the Black family? So we're going to welcome We're going to welcome Joseph Williams to the show.
Hey, Joseph. Is he here?
Joseph.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Joseph.
Hi, Joseph, and welcome to the Ladies Room Live. We
I'm
can't.
good, Joseph. How you doing?
Thank
We're
you.
good. We can't see you that well, but we know you're over there looking just as good as ever.
All right.
Welcome to the show. And we, you know why you're here. We're going to be talking about what is the real cause of the demise of the Black family in America. So, but I want to start with Marvin. We're going to give Marvin the floor because Marvin begged this question last week. Actually, he gave an opinion about what he thought. So we're going to start with you, Marvin. What do you think is the cause of the demise of the Black family?
The demise of the Black family starts first and foremost with the demise of the Black man. Now, I'm probably older than everybody. Probably, I don't know. I guess I hope I am. But if you grew up in the 60s, early 70s, you would know that 80%, and I'm gonna give these numbers because these numbers are correct. 80% of the Black family, Black children, was born into a 2-parent household. It was 2 parents in that household. In that time, we had respect for each other. The community could raise each other. And then, say, after like the Vietnam War and things of that nature, the family shut down. Lyndon B. Johnson created welfare. He put that out there. And the only way a woman can get welfare, she had a child, but she couldn't have the man in the house with her. She could not live with a man in her house. So being on welfare became a cash cow. They had more than one baby. The more babies you have, the more money you get. All right. So with that being said, you push the man out the picture and make him obsolete because you don't need a man. The government is taking care of you. No woman can raise a boy to be a man by herself, period. I don't care. Whatever you say, if you think you can, you're wrong. No woman can raise a man. A woman can take him only so far. But without that father figure, that authoritarian figure in the household, that boy is going to look outside of his mother. He's going to look to the street. He's going to look to his peers, and he's going to look to something else to show some type of authority, some type of power. So you take the Black man out of that. The Black woman say, because she's getting this money from the government, I don't need a man because I'm getting my own money. Nowhere in society, no part of society, you could find any race of men where his woman out-earns him, where his woman is smarter than him, collectively. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3 people. Collectively as a whole. Nowhere. No white, no Chinese, no Jew, no Arab, nothing but the Black man.
Does anybody want to jump in here? Did you say, "Oh no, thanks, I'm good"?
That was one thing that I'll just say is that I think Marvin started by saying, I don't remember, what did you say, like 90%
What?
of the what was the percentage of
80% in the 60s, 80%.
Well, yeah, no, it was actually more like 59%, and then it went down each year.
In the 60s?
Yeah.
In the Black family.
Yeah, and so I think that, like, just we could start from there and move on. It did get worse as time went on because of course heroin came around in the 70s and all of that. But I'm just trying. I guess my question is what is your position on what is the demise of the Black family today?
And let's do this. Let me do this. I'm sorry. This is specifically for Marvin, or can I would like to get Joseph's perspective, only because you mentioned last week, Marvin, that they were taking away our men. You said they.
They were the cause of Black families falling.
And we asked the question, who are they?
Who are they? You did say that. You did say that. And when you said that, I can go to a whole nother level with this conversation.
That's why we're not going to go there yet. Hold on, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna come back to you. But I thought that it's important. You mentioned the prison system. You said they.
Legislation.
You said they were taking the Black man out of the family, and I think by that, when we push further, you said because they were going to jail. So I have Joseph Williams here with us. Again, welcome, Joseph. And just to give us a perspective on what he thinks, because he talks to prisoners all day, he counsels them. And I wondered if that would weigh into any of what we're talking about right now. Joseph, can you give us your perspective?
His screen is frozen. Can he hear us?
I'm not 100% sure.
All right, so
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
We can hear you. You want to speak on it?
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear. Loud and
Oh.
clear. And let me do this. You know what?
Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
So the question is, I guess when you say they,
let me do
different
this.
diameters to that. Can you?
I don't know what's happening with your sound, but while we're waiting for Joseph's sound to clear up, I want to bring in also. I thought it would be interesting. We're talking about the demise of a Black family, and we're kind of on the cusp of a new couple that might be talking about, building a family. They're a new couple. I think that all of these things kind of weigh into this equation that we're talking about. We got the family, then we got the breakdown of the family, whatever. I want to bring in at this time also, so they can get in on this conversation, Steve, Johnson, and Michelle. Welcome them to the show, first of all. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
And as you guys know,
everybody.
As you guys know, we're talking about the cause of the demise of the Black family, and we have all these opinions going on. And you guys, this is kind of segueing into the question from last week as far as what is the cause of the demise of the Black family. But we're also talking about, does love still exist? We talked about the fact that maybe years ago, when some of us were a lot younger, love felt different. And now in these times in the 21st century and with the pandemic and all these things, love feels a little different, at least to me. And I think we all have differing opinions about that. So we kind of wanted to bring you guys in early on, Steve and Michelle, to kind of give us, an idea of what a 21st century relationship actually looks like. But we're going to get back to the cause of the demise of it, and then we'll go back to the beginning and start to unpack it from there. So I'm sorry, Joseph, you were saying. Joseph, you were speaking.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Joseph, check your mic.
I don't think he can hear.
Yeah, I'm thinking he can't hear us.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting ready. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Ready to switch on another computer. Give me a minute. I'm going to switch on another computer.
Okay.
We can hear you and we can see you loud and clear. Can you hear us?
Who is that?
I'll be there 1 second.
Switching his computer.
Okay. Let's
can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
We can.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to change to another.
I'll sit to that. You should be back in. You should be good, Joseph.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear me loud and clear? All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to switch. I switched on computers.
We can hear you.
Okay, so everybody hear me?
Yes.
For the last time.
Yes.
Still hear you.
Okay, what's the question? I throw the question at you.
I feel like the
What's
worst.
the question?
The question
you
is,
said-
what
Can I
is
tell them the question?
The question is, we're talking about the cause of the demise of the Black family, and it was someone alluded to the fact that this is all due to Black men going. He said they are taking away our Black men, and they, I guess, are the cops. You
No,
work in business.
no. Excuse me. You're wrong. I did not say the cops. The cops is a small part of it. It starts with legislation. It started at the top. Come on, I didn't say they, just the cops. I'm not talking about the cops. They create laws directed specifically for us. All right. I'm not talking about the cops. The cops are just a pawn. If you get a person, like at one time, right? You had the hippies and you had the blacks. The hippies was smoking weed. The blacks had heroin. That's what they put in the community. All right. They made sure that the heroin went to the Black community. That heroin destroyed our community.
well?
And it wasn't no Black man bringing it there. It didn't get there by accident. It didn't come in the coffin from across seas and the army coffins from a Black man bringing it. Trust me.
Yeah, but
can Joseph can we hear from Joseph on his thoughts about men and being incarcerated and how that affects the plight of the Black family in America?
Well, there's so many issues to this question, and one of the things he said when you say they, I'm pretty sure he's talking about the legislators who makes the laws when it comes in with the Black family. But when you talk about incarceration, that's a whole nother component. We have a lot of young Black brothers that are incarcerated. Okay, and a lot of times what I hear is that the white man is what had me incarcerated. Well, you know what? The one thing I try to teach our young brothers is that we can't keep blaming it on everybody. We have to start looking at ourselves. One thing we have to start doing is stop being selfish. See, I always use that term selfish because I'm like, when you're out there doing what you do in the streets, you're not thinking about all your family members that loves you, that's going to need you out here. But you think about them when you get in here. Then when you get in here, you decide that, hey, you know what? I miss my kids. Well, were you missing your kids when you was out there doing what you need to do for them to make it every day? So then the question comes in, well, is the Black family really being dismissed? Well, the Black family is never being dismissed because there's so many players when you talk about the Black family. Okay, I don't think when you talk about the Black family, there's the grandmother, there's the grandfather, there's the sisters, there's the aunts. There's so many people playing a role in that Black family. Now the question would be more so: is the Black family surviving because the Black man is not in the house? That would be another question that would have to be answered. But our families are surviving. We always been survivors, but it's so many components to that question. Because me personally, I don't think our Black family has been dismissed or it has been demised because sometimes the Black man is not in the house. But as long as you have a man there able to give that support to that Black family, I think the Black family will be fine because we all still have to work hard. Our work doesn't stop. So when everybody say, well, because we go back in the 60s and 70s when they put the welfare reform in place, said, hey, and I remember that they said, hey, you can't receive welfare unless that Black man is not in that house. Well, the truth of the matter is, even though that Black man wasn't in that house, he still was in the house.
He still contributed too.
He was still in that house. He still was doing what he needed to do. But
you're absolutely right. But that created a mindset over a period of time where the woman say, "I don't need a man."
I don't. Well, see, when I hear you say that, I think what happens is it's been a switch in society. What happens is now what I see is that in the white America, the white corporation, they don't want to be challenged by us Black men. So they will hire a Black woman because they don't want to be challenged. Okay. So that's another dynamics in there.
You're right, but I understand where you're
It's
coming
like
from.
when you talk about corporate America, when you give us black men, you give us that room to grow. We're going for everything we can get. So now that white man feels threatened. And I hate to say he doesn't feel threatened by that black woman, but that black woman can be very powerful too. So it's a lot that we still have to work on, and we have to get past some of these stereotypes that's out there. The question is, who putting those stereotypes out there for us to believe what people are saying?
Yeah,
Because
I
we're gonna be
agree.
okay.
I agree.
There's so many
Yeah,
stereotypes.
because I think we use that ideal from like the 60s and 70s as a crutch for why, you know, families might be going through, you know, black families may be look at, because I think, what is it like? I think 38% of families are one, you know, or two parent households. So that is very low compared to Asians, who's probably at like 65 or something like that, or higher.
Pam.
But let me just finish my point, please.
Because you just hit me in the heart right there.
Well,
Because I think we're looking at it
I
from a
just
different
want to
reality.
kind of put a bow on this, right? What I was trying to say. I think that we can't. We've evolved from the 60s and 70s, and I remember a lot from, you know, a lot, and I think that we can't continue to use crutches or say that they are the reason. I think that there's some other things that we need to explore, and a part of that makes me come back to what we had talked about last week, where maybe social media might have something to do with the demise of families in general, because of all of the access that people have to other people outside of who they're involved with. So like, we could talk about incarceration, we could talk about all those things all day, but I think like let's just say what it you know, let's look at some other options on the demise. It could be cheating, could it be people having, you know, access to so many other women that they're not willing to put the time and work into who they're with, or men. You know, put it on both sexes. And, you know, let's just talk about the whole all of the possibilities.
And with that being said, let's start from the beginning. There's a lot to unpack in this topic. Let's start at the beginning, and we're talking about a couple that is, I know them to be really, truly in love, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. But let's start at the beginning, because it starts first come love, then comes marriage, and let's see what happens after that. So let's talk to Steve and Michelle.
All right, Steve, what y'all got to talk about? What y'all talking about?
So first, guys, welcome to the show. I'm so happy that you guys joined us tonight. So happy. But we're gonna start from the beginning about this whole black family thing. I know you guys feel the love. I've talked to you guys. I know how you met, but let's tell everybody else your story. How did you meet? It's an incredible story to me. I love love. So how'd you guys meet? Let's start there. Any one of you can go first.
Steve? We a long time ago, I think it was like maybe 2002, 2003, at the gym. And at that time, I was still married, and I think she had just recently gotten divorced, correct? Mm-hmm. So, we used to live in the same side of town in all Texas. And periodically, we would run into each other, at the grocery store, things of that nature. And it was October 2018 when I ran into her. Obviously, I'm divorced, and and I saw her. It had been a while, probably, I don't know, what would you say, maybe 2 years, maybe, because we had seen each other. And at that point, I just kind of, just started talking. Both of us have our kids are grown, and so I just kind of, asked her for a number. Anyway, long story short, 2018 up until now, we've really enjoyed getting to know each other and just kind of continuing on, taking it day by day, but just really, really getting to know each other and just enjoying it. So that's it. I don't know what story she told you. Maybe it was a little bit more exciting, but that's my version. That's the story I told. Yeah.
I would love to hear your perspective, Michelle.
So when you say about okay, getting together, I don't know.
Well, we are not going to have children. My son is 22. My daughter's 20. His twins are 5. So yeah, we're in our 50s, so
no kids,
no children. I think
Do you guys plan to have
what's so fascinating about it is that you know, like Steve mentioned, we really just bumped into each other. What is that?
Say
Are you guys planning on having children?
Hello?
No.
So what I was going to say is that what's so fascinating about it is it was a span of 15 years intensity off and on at the gym. How you doing? Are we considering having children?
I think we're having some problems hearing you guys. Is it just me?
Yeah,
Is
this
it something? Are we going to have
their
children?
internet. It's their internet.
the sound is going in and out.
Okay. There's communication.
Continue, Michelle.
Okay. Are you?
I don't know what's going on with the internet.
Oh, internet. Okay. Are you able to hear us?
We're having a difficult time with you guys, hearing you guys, and also your screen is freezing. Looks like some technical difficulties there. I'm not sure. I think we are losing them.
Yeah, we can't hear them now.
Yeah, I think we just lost them.
All right, so we have like 3 minutes left on the show, so I guess we could either talk about. Well, we do have other married couples here on the panel, so I could maybe let's hear their perspective on relationships. And I don't know if you both were married before, if this is your first or second marriage, but maybe you could give some background on your situations, and we can see how it plays into the topic that we're talking about.
I'm sorry, they're back. They're back. Can we just go back to Steve and Michelle for a second? Can we see if that works?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Are you guys back?
Yeah, can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Can you all hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep.
Yes, we're back. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. We were able to see you all fine, so I apologize about that. I was just saying that over the span of 4 years, it was just bumping into Steve at the gym. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well. How are you? Knowing what you're working on legs, what you're working on chest and back, whatever the case may be. And that was just really over a span of multiple years. And then sometimes I would see him at the store. How are you? You know, how is my kid? How are you? Kind of thing. And in 2018, we bumped into each other. And at this point in time, unfortunately, Steve dissolved. And we ended up on a date. And next date, and the week after that, till this moment right here. So, we're certainly really experience. Just trying to take it for myself now. Really learn and plan better each day and show up in relationship as a positive, as a person who is here. And so
let me ask you guys this. Steve, can you guys hear me?
And moving along.
Okay, this is bad. Can you guys hear me?
What happened in the past 2 years that certain things have to bring people close together. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh,
she's going in and out.
Can you hear me?
I can hear her.
Oh. It's going in and out.
So can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. So you guys are, what, 2 years into this new relationship?
Yeah.
Correct? 2 years in. So do you guys feel that love feels different now? You know, I ask this question time and time again only because it could be just me, but does it feel different in these times, in this 21st century? Does it feel different within the pandemic? Does it feel different because you're maybe more mature now?
Yeah.
We're having a difficult time here. Some serious technical problems. All right, we can move on. We'll come back to Stephen and Michelle once they get, I guess the internet gets worked out. So Joseph, I know you, and I know how you feel about this topic. What do you feel? Do you feel that love still, you know, you're younger, you got that giddy feeling, you're in love with somebody, you gaze into their eyes, you can't wait to hold them, touch them, all that love, that passion on your heart. Do you think this still exists now, or has it changed with time and social media and all this crap that's happening in the world today?
Hey, listen, I believe love is forever. You know, I always say you marry the person that you're afraid to lose. If you're afraid to lose that person, you'll do whatever you need to do to keep that person. So until you get to that point, you know, you wouldn't know what love was until you in that situation where you can say, hey, I'm going to marry you because I'm afraid to lose you. And when you get to that point, that's when you know love is real. Because you're going to do whatever you need to do to make sure you keep that person that you know God brought before you and make you happy. Because only God can make you happy. You know?
That's what they say.
So if you got to that point and you're afraid to lose that person, then and that person feels the same about you, then you know love is real.
But does it have to end in marriage? Can you
never been married?
I see. This is what I'm telling you. I can't answer that question because I've never been married. But I tell you this, I had to define who I was as a man so I know what I could bring to the relationship. So now I'm more prepared to be married. And like I said, I'm just going to marry that woman that I'm afraid to lose.
How old are you,
because
what you got to say about that, Shayna? Shayna,
Well,
what
no, wait, well, Marvin asked him a question.
Oh,
Joseph, how old are you?
Yes, go ahead.
Man, I'm 52 years old.
52, right?
And never been married. Wow.
You've never been married, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, because I'm 50 and I've never been married. So
Wow.
now there's a reason for that. Now, Joseph, now me personally, I feel that love exists. Love is there. Love is real. Love is true. All those butterflies you get in your heart when you meet that person, all that plays a part. But why haven't you been married? Why haven't I been married? What's the problem? I know there's a woman out there.
Well, you have to ask that question.
No, I can answer the question for myself. I'm just talking about Joseph because he's making the statement. He's saying what he's saying. How, you know, if you don't want to lose that person, you'll marry her, and not in that context, but you're making a statement, and I want you to look at yourself. You're 52 years old, and you've never been married, and why is that? I can tell you why I haven't been married.
I want to hear both. I want to hear from both of y'all.
I haven't met the right woman. That's why I haven't.
All right, so as Terry said, let's unpack this.
Let me ask you this question. I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna answer it like this. Until I was able to define who I was as a man, I wasn't ready to get married anyway.
Exactly. So it took you 52 years to do that.
I obviously did because I'm 52.
Okay.
It took me all that time to get to this point to make sure I was ready. Because as the man, you got to be the head of that snake, and you have to lead. So
no, but they say now they do not need a man. They say they do not need a man. So
I said that. I said that.
It's general. Everybody's not saying that. I'm just putting it out there. Women say now that they do not need a man.
I said that.
I never said that.
It's not everybody. It's not everybody.
Right. We know what you're saying. And
I said that.
I'm talking to him as a man. He wants to lead. He wants to be put in a position where he can lead. And then we have women that say, I don't need no man. So we fight a battle right
those
there.
women who are saying that,
It's
They
not
can't
for
stand
you.
that?
But those are the women that you come across 90% of the time.
Well, see, I don't come across
That's
that
who
90%.
You gotta
you
change your
are.
pool.
Okay.
You're fishing in the wrong pool, buddy.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. I know I am.
You gotta
I know
switch
I
your
am.
pool.
Okay, I wanted to make this statement to you, Pam, a long time ago, but we got cut off, or you took over, right? Now, where I grew up at, I'm gonna tell you right now, I grew up in the largest project in New York City. All right, where I grew
Where
up,
was you?
no, Far Rockaway, New York, Edgemont House. Look, from
Edgemont.
51st
All right.
Street to 59th. Look, oh, you hear me? It has at least maybe at the bare minimum 30 buildings going up to at least the 9th floor. We can go through
Okay.
every one of those buildings. We can go through every one of those buildings and every floor and pull out 2 fathers in the household with their wife, with their children. Out of each building, you ain't gonna get no more than 2. You might get lucky, you get 3.
I don't trust your numbers though, Marvin. I'm gonna be honest with you because your credibility is a little questionable.
Okay. So what we
Because
gonna
I don't
do,
think you went into all those 90 buildings and took
I'm
all
gonna
the buildings and talked to everybody.
Marvin pulls
I'm
numbers
gonna
out
come
of his
get you.
ass.
Pam,
Marvin,
I'm gonna come get you. Pam, I'm
No,
gonna
you
come
don't
get
need
you.
to do
And
that.
we're gonna knock on each door and do
I
a
can
10.
verify. What I'm saying is, it doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, you
You don't
need
need
to
a man.
fix you in order to find someone.
No, I ain't worried about me.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not worried about me.
God damn it. Yes, Shayna. That's
Shayna,
right.
Shayna,
You are absolutely
Shayna.
right.
Shayna,
You feel
you're
what
right.
I'm saying? Like at the end of the day,
Shayna,
you need a man.
you talking about relationships.
Right.
I'm not
Because
talking about
and that you are absolutely right.
Up and stop making excuses for the fact that you don't have a woman in your life that you want.
Right.
Who you talking to?
Both of y'all.
At
I
you.
don't know who you're talking to.
Now, Joseph, no, I'm talking to you, Marvin Gibson.
But you're not talking to me
She
because
said your whole government name.
What's your middle name?
I don't have a middle name.
Marvin Gibson.
Look,
And
and
think
listen,
about who
Shayna,
you are as a man and what you
Shayna, you're wrong.
Joseph,
Shayna.
no, Joseph is right and you're wrong.
Okay, but I wasn't talking about relationships. I wasn't talking about relationships.
A lot of your content.
I'm still not talking about relationships.
Until this point, if you do not cut it out. Okay, thank you.
Hey,
Up
Marv,
until
can I
this
say one
point,
thing?
you have been very vocal with respect to what you feel, the demise of the Black community. How you're not coming into contact with women that really edify who you are and what your place is within this world. All Joseph said was he felt that he needed to take enough time to soul search, understand who he is as a man, what he brings to the table, in order for him to be able to identify what kind of a woman he wants to pair himself with. That's all he said.
And I respect that. I respect that so much.
I did not
respect that.
What were you saying?
I did not deny
I respect Joseph's perspective because a lot of men just want to jump and go get married, and they don't know who they are. And they just wreak havoc on the next woman and or kids that may be a product of that involvement. So I respect that he had to get to know who he is before he put threw himself into that. But one thing, and I agree with Shayna, I think that we could talk about women who say that they don't need a man. Honestly, I feel like that's the woman that you need to be vying for, because she's going to make you a better person. Because you know what you have to do? You got to step it up, because what you think may be enough may not be enough for anybody. 50 years later, you might want to look at it and say, oh shit,
maybe
I better do things differently, because I've been doing things the same way all these years and I'm still not married. If marriage is your goal,
and that's a great segue.
You know what I'm saying? Just like you may have to work on you.
And that's a great segue. We can throw this out to Steve. You know what? We have a third male on the panel tonight. And Steve, I know you're not, but I know you were married. But I want to know, like, oh, we lost him. Oh my goodness.
I want to just go on record here tonight. Marvin, we're all we're all rooting for you to do that soul searching, do that work. Okay.
Excuse
do
me.
that work. No, you need it.
Shayna,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shayna, don't make it be about me. Trust me.
It's not about you.
It's all about you, buddy.
No,
But I need you to get your life.
Yeah.
Get your
You know what?
Can I say one thing? Hey, Mar.
Yeah.
Mar, let me
I hear
say
you.
one thing. There's two things I'm hearing. You hear they say they don't need a man, but there's two words, need and want. Okay, they may not see that they need a man, but at some point they may want a man. So we work with that. Okay.
No, but need and want is
They
two
say they
different
don't
need
need it right now.
And you still got to work on yourself, and you still have to work on yourself for that. Because I know for a fact, I am the one, Joseph. I am the one who said for emphatically, I don't need a man. I said that, and I will stand on that. Now, do I want one? Not really. But if one came up to me and he was like on some real dope, undeniable kind of like, oh shit, then yeah, we could talk about that. But until such time, I'm good. I'm really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, some of us feel differently.
Well,
like some of us.
Guess what? At some point, you can say you may not need, but you still didn't say you didn't want. So I play with words.
Well, you didn't hear what I said then. You didn't hear what I said.
If she said
You didn't hear what I said.
if she said if somebody came through with that
Let's
bomb,
roll. You can rewind this. You can rewind this later and listen to what I said.
Okay.
What I said was I don't need one, and I don't feel like I want one at this point. But if one came up to me, approached me, that was like incredibly, amazingly undeniable, I would consider it. But until such time, I'm really super good right now.
Okay. Well, there's a possibility.
Yes.
And I may be an anomaly because other women on the panel think differently, but there are some who are really, really, really super good right now with where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's all right. Right person come around.
What was that, Joseph?
That's okay until that right person come around. Like you
if
said,
that happens, then it's all good. It's all gravy.
Now, what do you say? I'm sorry. What was that? I missed.
It's all right.
I missed what you said.
You make a good point. You make a good point. Joseph was just saying that you're strong in your stance right now, but if that person were to come along, I'm more than sure that you would be open to that type of an arrangement.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be? You know, who wouldn't?
And that's exactly what I said.
That could really complement and build them up. I mean, that's the
and enhance. Yeah, you got to enhance what I already have going on because I'm really, really good.
If I'm already good, you know, like on every other level, I want you to come in and kind of compliment me. The reason why my relationship with my husband works is because he knows how to hit me at all the right levels for my crazy, my all of those different things. He knows how to edify me. He knows how to build into me, and vice versa. I build into him. It doesn't work if one person is, leading the charge and the other person is just, dragging ass.
Right, going along for the ride.
Right, but it does work when you're encouraging each other, when you're edifying each other, when you're building each other up. It doesn't work when you're expecting, oh, well, I haven't met the right woman, but every woman you've met, you knew she had some criteria missing, but maybe you led yourself with your dick. It happens. I'm not gonna hold you back from that. That was your truth in the time. But you also have to be open to the fact that if you've been doing the same goddamn thing for, let's say, 20, 30, 40 years, at some point that's now insanity and you need to stop doing that and now find a new way.
And
exactly.
that's why
or fish in a different pond.
That's all I'm saying.
And you told me I need to get married.
I didn't tell you needed to get married. I said you needed to rethink your position with respect to what kind of women you want to have in your circle.
I already know what kind of women.
If marriage is your goal. If marriage is the goal.
Is your goal. Now, if you're just out there looking to just horn dog it around, well, then
do you, boo? Do you, boo?
Why are you so hard on you, Mar? I mean, do you want to get married, man?
No, listen. Once I find that woman where I know that's that woman, then I'm good. I will get married.
So as a PSA, why don't we do this? As a PSA, why don't we do this, Marvin?
But
Marvin, why don't you tell us what that woman needs to possess? Let us all know.
no.
Come on.
No.
Why
No. Stay out
Come
my
on.
business.
We want our list.
Stay out my
Give us
business.
your
I
list.
feel like my ex-husband now.
Joseph, rock with me. Don't stay out my business.
Listen, I'm with you, man.
No, Marvin, we definitely want to know now.
We
No.
want your list, Marvin.
We're gonna do something different for a second.
No, we want Marvin's list.
For a second. Hey guys, she said
Listen,
she's talking.
we're gonna do something different. So we heard from Joseph, we heard from Marvin. I think we have some, we can gauge where that's going. But we have a third male here. I don't see Michelle anymore. I want to hear from Steve Johnson. What's up, Steve? What do you think about this? What do you think about, this whole love thing? Like, what is it what made you know Michelle was the one for you? And I'm sure you're a man of good looks.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Can you put my glasses on? I'll see.
Oh my goodness.
Leora.
Okay.
We see you.
You've been mad.
Hang on, Marvin, please. Steve, can you hear me?
She said, "Oh, Marvin, please."
Steve, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So we're asking. Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you. We're asking. What is it that made you? We can hear you. You hear me? What is it that made you know in these days, in these times, in this century, that Michelle was the one for you? I would love to know what it is, because I often, and before you answer, because it is to my understanding that when a man meets a woman, whether casually, whether they're purposely introduced, whatever it is, we pretty much size each other up. The female sizes up the male, the guy sizes up the woman. It could be, is he fuckable? I don't know what they go by, but usually that's on the table. Like, so most of us know we want to move forward with something, and most of us know when we don't want to move forward, and most of us know when we just want to play, because we can do that. So what is it about Michelle? What is it that you were looking for as a man that's been married before, and so now you may know more what you want? What is it about Michelle that does it for you? Steve.
Wow.
All of that?
First of all, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. And we're listening with bated breath. Yes.
Okay. So first of all, like I said, we just have so much in common. And what I was going to get to a while ago, I think what's really going to seal the deal here is for me, neither one of us were looking for anything. Like I said, we had known each other from so long ago. Obviously, there was a physical attraction, and as we spoke, I was like, wow, Michelle, she's really, really cool. So we ran into each other in 2018, and the opportunity was there for us to really get to know each other on a different level. Like I said, we started out just going on dates. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Down there.
Hello?
You're good. You're good, Steve.
So we, like I said, just someone who felt.
I tried to call you, you didn't answer me.
I could be myself with, and that was so important to me.
Continue, Steve. We're listening.
Say again.
Continue. We're listening. We can hear you.
What I was saying, I could just be. Yeah. So that was important to me. Okay. So whereas I was married, I was with my ex for 23 years. We were married 19 of those 23. And it seemed like just from day one with Michelle, I had a certain level of comfort that I never achieved in those 23 years of my previous relationship. And then too, I don't know what Julian has shared with you, Terry, but 2018, just a few weeks before I had ran into Michelle, I had gotten a prostate cancer diagnosis. And I shared that with her early on in the relationship, probably about 2 weeks in. And she was it didn't change a beat. She continued to be there because I was like, just kind of giving her that option. Hey, is this something that you just letting you know? Are you willing to deal with? And, do you want to continue on us talking and so forth? And she stood by my side and was just so encouraging. What I had a surgery, which was my first one at the time, age 52. And she was just so encouraging. I mean, I was in such a bad place. I think it was more about the surgery, afraid of the surgery, but she was just so encouraging, telling me, hey, it's going to be okay. And no, this doesn't change anything. I'm here for you. So those are things that really, I mean, that was really, I mean, like I said, it's been 2 years. There's been a lot that's happened, but I feel like that was something that just really drew us closer together. For her to stick with me during that time, and it's just meant a lot. I feel like in the past 2 years, again, not comparing to my previous relationship, but I feel like I've experienced and have been able to achieve more and just with her in the past 2 years than I was able to do in 23 in my previous relationship.
Wow.
Obviously, we're a little older and a little bit more mature. Like I said, I'm 54. I'm not going to put her age out there. So I have an idea of what I know in terms of what I would like to have in life, and also what I will and or will not deal with. And so far, like you said earlier, she shows up every day. I try to show up every day. We have a mutual level of respect for one another, and so far it's good. And we're just taking it one day at a time and just thank God for the blessing. You know, at this point, to be able to find somebody that's willing to be by your side. So
let me ask you this.
Pretty much my story.
You're 2 years in. You've known each other previous, but you've been in a relationship for about 2 years. You obviously saw each other sick because you went through your surgery. Have you guys seen each other mad? How do you fight? How do you guys fight? If you don't mind my asking, how do you fight? Because there's a right way to fight, there's a right way to fight, and there's a wrong way to fight. How do you guys fight? Have you done that yet? Have you done that work yet?
Right. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't really call it a fight.
Well, we love to hear from Michelle on that one.
You know, she always knows, and I'm so. Well, yeah. I'm gonna let her talk, obviously, but for me, well, you know what? I probably shouldn't say that. I think she's anyway. I'm not gonna go there. So you know what? I'm gonna keep the peace.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I will answer,
because Michelle is waiting. She's like, "What is he about to say?"
Okay, so Steve, I heard the gentleman as well. He's like, "Yeah, that's a good move."
Yeah.
No, it would have been okay, whatever his answer would have been. Honestly, I mean, you know, he has to speak his truth. I will admit, very early on, I was like, okay, I mean, he probably knows it at this point. One of my own little rules is if I'm involved with someone, I want to know what you look like angry. I need to know what that looks like. I need to know what kind of person are you? How do you deal with emotions that are frustrating to you? And so I wasn't doing anything purposely, of course, but like there were moments where, you know, we have had a little snag in how we thought or felt, but I can honestly say that I think our age has a lot to do with, again, you know, he told you he was married 23. I was married 12. So we're both coming from a place of very long-term relationships. And you can really, if you choose to take lessons from what you've previously experienced and apply them in something that if you have a blessing to, you know, go through it again, you're going to try to do that. And so, you know, Steve and I do a lot of talking. We talk it out. I know I frustrate him because unfortunately, sometimes I do kind of shut down when something is bothering me. It is because I don't want to say anything that will damage our relationship down the road. I know a lot of people when they're angry, they talk out of anger and they say things just so vicious and mean. And that's in your history with that person. And so you can't, you know, words stick. So usually to avoid that, I just kind of shut down, which is not fair to Steve. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. But most of any type of disagreement that we have, we really just talk it out, to be honest. We've never really, there's just a level of appreciation and mutual respect between the two of us that we really not only have established, but I would honestly say we would be willing to preserve at this point. You know, when you have mutual respect between you know, if there's mutual respect, if you're fortunate enough to have that with the person you're in a relationship with, I would like to think that you're going to work to try to preserve that as much as you can.
I love what you said, Michelle, because you said that you know that it's not fair to him that you don't, you know, that you hold things in. But I think sometimes you're doing the right thing by not saying everything that comes to your mind, because sometimes, and especially, you know, women, we could be kind of vicious at times. And the words that once it's out there, you can't pull it back. So I think the best, you're on such a great track with how you're approaching things. Yeah, it's like they don't have to know everything that you feel right there. You know what I'm saying? You give yourself time to process it and come back and deal with it later, as opposed to right there where you're all stuck in the moment. And I applaud you guys. I think that's a great route to take.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Because like I said, there's a right way to fight and there's a wrong way to fight. And I think that, if it's not that
really
deep,
appreciate that because
Go ahead, Michelle. I'm sorry. Michelle, you have the floor. Oh, I think it's technical again.
Right. I'm not gonna fight dirty. So I'm not gonna fight dirty. So like if I know I'm are you able to hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
I'm not gonna fight dirty. So if I know I'm dealing with a range of emotions that I'm not gonna feel in a day or two, okay. I was saying that I'm not gonna fight dirty. So if I know I'm dealing with a range of emotions that I'm not gonna feel in a day or two, then I'm gonna be quiet. You know what I mean? Because if I'm looking at something long term with this individual who is really a great person, I don't need to chop you up just because I'm feeling something in that moment. I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna process my emotions so that I can preserve what we have.
That's so important. And it makes me think about a conversation that we had with another guest I think it was 2 weeks ago, where, I think that one person holding stuff back made the other person think that it's a problem. But in your case, I think when you hold stuff back, it prevents a problem that could become bigger. And, sometimes I think one of the things that I think just from my experience is that sometimes if the person sees you holding something back, they may think something's wrong. So they want to go outside and figure out how to, get that fulfillment or whatever it is. Or like, she's mad at me, she's not talking to me, so I'm gonna go do X, Y, and Z. You guys are so smart because you've already experienced enough to know that that's not the route to take. That you want to preserve is the perfect word. That's like the perfect. That's so good. Like I'm so excited for you guys. Honestly, I don't know you all, but I'm excited because you're talking you're talking for the future. Even if you never ever get married, the fact that you respect each other and you want to preserve what you have, and you're doing it taking the right steps to do that. And you're talking about a woman who did 34 years with a person, 28 married, and we just said, we're good. But so you guys want to preserve what you have and grow and build on that. And you know that you don't want kids, you know what it is, you've been through all that. I applaud you guys and I have high hopes for you. I'm not a professional and I just pretend to be one.
Thank you so much.
But no, I think you guys are great.
Thank you so much.
You guys are doing really great.
I applaud you guys too, and I think that you probably give a lot of people hope.
A lot of it, at this point,
it's so easy to lose hope in these days, and so to see you guys and especially you both have been married before. You've come through some things, obviously. And for you to come here right now at this time in your lives, where you can connect with someone that now is on a different plane with you, that's everything. Because nowadays there's so much noise around all of us. There's so much noise. It's difficult to focus on those important things, and it's easy to get distracted. So, I think it's so beautiful. It gives me hope. Love still exists, and it's out there. And if you want it, you can get it. I think it's a beautiful thing. And you guys do decide to tie that knot. I want a friggin' invitation in the mail. I'm telling you right now.
We all want an invitation. All of us, everybody here, we want an invitation.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, we unpacked a lot tonight.
Can I say this?
I'm sorry.
You all able to hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We can hear you.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought that was Michelle.
Oh, Michelle.
Who? Can you guys hear me?
I got it wrong. Sorry. I'm sorry, Michelle.
So I'm just gonna wrap it up by saying that,
That's it.
This is Michelle. Yes, I was just saying, in the meantime,
we lost you again.
I lost her again.
We lost her sound.
Yeah.
I don't think she realizes she's on mute. Terry, just real quick, I would love to just say that I like the manner in which they have chosen to approach their relationship. I think it is so
it's everything
in this time. You can't give up on each other. You know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to listen to the other party's side. You also have to be willing to articulate your side. And you both have to be willing to love each other enough to stick with it. You know what I mean? Like to keep going. And I think that gives you and I that hope that we like to see that a relationship can thrive and grow. You know?
Yeah.
I really think it's important. So kudos to you guys, like literally.
I'm with you 100%, Shanna. And especially, I mean, so nice to see people pulling it together in these hard times, like I said. And I mean, it's difficult as it is, but I think that if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that life is short. You got to be prepared no matter what, because there's always something coming down the pike, and we don't know how devastating it's going to be and how it's going to affect all of us as a whole. So I think that you want to go out there and play around, whatever it is. This is not the time. This is time to focus. A lot of us focus on the wrong things. It's time to stick our feet in the sand. Get strong in our stance with life. Whether it's your spiritual walk with God, whether it's your job, whatever it is, get real with yourself. Because guess what? Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. And the one thing I like to say is that when that catastrophe happened with the World Trade Center, nobody woke up and said, "Oh, I'm going to die today." Nobody, it did not discriminate. Some people woke up dreading going to a meeting. Somebody dreaded going to work, period. And they woke up, got dressed, and prepared. So if we haven't learned anything else, it's like, let's just get our lives together. Let's build some generational wealth. Let's set up some plans for the future. Let's show our young people, all those ones who came out for us in this election, all these ones that feel green about life. Let's give them some good examples. And with that, what I want to do is something different. I want to close the show. This is our show for the night. But what I want to do is close the show with a positive affirmation. So if you guys don't mind indulging me, I just want to read something. It's a daily affirmation for today, actually. And it says, "I am open to new and wonderful changes. My heart is open and full of gratitude. I welcome with open hands all the success that comes. I'm open to new adventures in my life. I am open to channel of loving, creative energy. I relax easily and open myself up to delightful surprises. I choose love, joy, and freedom. Open my heart and allow wonderful things to flow into my life." And I hope that with those words, you all do the same thing. And let's just bring love in. Let's let it rise. I think in these times, we need all the love and all the prayers we can get. Let's hope we win that Senate in January. And let's hope for a positive future, COVID-free.
Absolutely.
Amen.
I'll drink to that.
Yes.
Amen.
That being said, thank you guys so much. This is our show. I love you guys for joining us tonight. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Heard you getting to it, well, let's talk about it. All day in the bank, let's talk about it. Spend a few checks, talking cheap change, well, let's